data import. Base data import. So basically, this Fbdi we will use for FSCM module. So this Fbdi we will use for FSCM module, non-sun supply chain module. So this Fbdi we will use for FSCM module, non-sun supply chain module. Understand, right? So I will give you the basic difference between the Fbdi and HDL. I'll give you the basic difference between Fbdi and HDL. Okay. So Fbdi, HDL. So for Fbdi, we will use for Fbdi approach. So for finance and supply chain module, business objects, we will use for finance and supply chain modules, business objects, we will use for finance and supply chain modules, business objects, we will use Fbdi. For finance and supply chain modules, business objects, we will use the Fbdi approach. For HDL, for HDL, we will use, okay, for HCM module, BOS. So you all know, right, what is mean by BOS? Yes. We will use HDL approach.
Business object.
Hmm?
Business object.
Yeah, business object, but what is the purpose of this BOS?
Entering data.
See, business objects means, for example, in HCM, worker is one business object, job is one business object, job family, grade. So that we discuss, right? So same way in FSCM also, supplier is one business object, customer is one business object, invoice is one business object. So these things will be taken care by business objects. Yes. So if you want to maintain if you want to maintain the data for the finance and supply chain and do the data load, then we will use the Fbdi approach, file-based data import. For HCM modules, we will use the HDL approach. So here we will download the business object in. Here we will download the business object in. Here we will download the business object in. Download the business object in. Student apps OER. So tell me, guys, how to download the business object in HDL? So already we discussed, na?
In that file.
No, wait, how to download the business object in from HDL?
Data exchange.
Tell me data exchange, then
uh, search for that particular name.
so that means in Fusion itself, right? In Fusion itself, we will download the views. So in Fusion, you have to go to data exchange, view business object, search the name of the BO, then you can download, right? Hmm. It's 1 minute. Okay. So here we will download the business objects in Fusion apps over here. In Fusion itself, we'll download the views. In Fusion itself, we'll download the business objects. Understand or not? Okay. So in Fbdi, we have a concept called ESS job. In Fbdi, we have a concept called ESS job. I think this ESS job concept we will cover in the more into BIP reports topics. But there is a concept called ESS job, Enterprise Scheduler Service. So ESS job to load the data into staging table or interface table. ESS job, there is a ESS jobs are there to load the data into staging table or interface table in a BDI. Here what we will use import option, import option from HM data loader program to load into staging table. To load into staging table. Hmm? So ESS job to load the data into staging table or interface table. Import option from HCM data loader program to load data into staging table. Hmm? So there is this is one ESL job. There are two ESL jobs are there. ESL job. So this is the interface table ESL job, guys. Interface table ESS job. Interface. I'll write here. Interface table ESL job. Name is load interface file for import. Interface table ESL job name is load interface file for import. Hmm? Load interface file for import. Okay. So guys, here ESS job uh, to load the data into base table. Based on the business object, Based on the business object, ESS job name will change for base table. Example, if it is supplier, ESS job name is import supplier. If it is invoices, import. All right. Okay. So here what we can do is load option from program to load data into base tables. Load option from HCM data loader program to load data into base tables. Load option from HCM data loader program to load the data into base tables. So here ESS job concept is there. ESS job is the one of the uh, scheduler services jobs. Okay. So what is the purpose of ESS jobs? So we can run parallelly for any process, any jobs. So this already defined programs, these already developed programs by Oracle. On top of that, you can create your own ESS job also. So ESS jobs are very, very important for BIP reports and some standard programs given by Oracle. So using these programs, we will run to load the data into Oracle Fusion Cloud. And we can call BIP reports in ESS job also, that we will discuss BIP report classes. That's all right. So here we will use CSV file format. Here which file format? DAT file format with type delimited. With comma separated. CSV file format with comma separated. DAT file format with pipe delimited. So DAT file format with pipe delimited. Understand, right? CSV file format with comma separated. DAT file format with pipe delimited. Okay. Here, if the data in master and childs, we will use multiple sheets. Here we have a multiple meta data. Here we have multiple metadata available. Full metadata for master chains. master. Here, if the data in master changes, we will use the multiple sheets concept. Here we have multiple metadata for, here we will use multiple metadata for master child data load. So this is the basic difference between the Fbdi and HDL. Understand, right? So here we have to understand, guys, one important thing for ESS job concept. ESS jobs are given by Oracle to perform some operations, and we will have options to schedule the programs. We'll have option to schedule the programs. So what do you mean by scheduling the program? So whatever the this what do you mean by some operations? What do you mean by some operations? I said right. ESS jobs are given by Oracle to perform some operations. When I say what is mean by operations, it will load the data, or it will fetch the data. It will load the data or it will fetch the data. The ESS job given by Oracle to perform some operations. So we will have option to schedule the programs. We'll have option to perform. We'll have option to schedule the programs. It will load the data or it will fetch the data. It will load the data or it will fetch the data. So what is the meaning of load the data or fetch the data is? So load the data means same like as HDL, we are loading the data, right? Fetch the data means like reports, I can say. So for example, I want to load the data every day morning 8 a.m. We can have an option to schedule. For example, I want to get the data from the ESL job and send to the UCM. You know UCM, right? So every day morning I want to get the data from report, and report that output should be sent to the UCM. UCM, you know, right? Web Center content. So those kind of operations programs given by Oracle. And on top of that ESS job given by Oracle, we can create our own ESS jobs also. On top of the Oracle given ESS jobs, we can create our own ESS jobs also. So that and all we will see this. So these operations we can schedule. These operations we can schedule. Understand or not?
Vamshi, while fetching the data, what are the advantages of data using BIP or this one?
Fetch data means BIP only it will support.
BIP. Oh.
Here it will support only BIP. OTBA it will not support ESS jobs.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Now, guys, here, so you have to understand this program, load interface file for import. Load interface file for import. It is same like as It is same like as, do you know that like we have discussed in HCM, in HCM we have discussed about the import and load, right? Hmm? In HCM we have discussed about import and load, right? Okay, in HCM we have discussed about import and load. Hmm? Same like as import and load, how it will work. For import, how it will work. Same like as import, how it will work. Load interface file for import program will work. Same like as import, how it will work. So it will work as the load interface file for import, it will work. So here, this program, listen carefully guys. This program is standard. When I say standard means it given by Oracle. What it will do? It will store into interface tables. So interface tables, every business object, interface tables are different. So when you observe in the staging table for HCM, this is same for every business object, right? This is same for every business object or not? Same for every business object or not?
Yes.
Okay. So so load interface file for import. This program is standard. It will store into interface table. So every business objects interface tables are different. For example, if you load the business object as supplier POZ supplier INT, the interface table name. So base tables. Next is base table. So what is the base table? For example, okay. For base table, ESS job, every business object, base table, ESS jobs are every business object, base table, ESS jobs are different. Every business object, base table, ESS jobs are different. But this program is same for every business object. ESS jobs are different. Example, if it is supplier, we will use import supplier. So till here any question you can ask me, guys. So till here any question you can ask me. So till here any question. It is invoice, import invoice. So every business object base table ESS jobs are different. If it is supplier, import supplier. If it is invoice, import invoices. Okay. So now guys here, one more important thing. We will check in the OER. There is a one more in the OER. Okay. There is a one more concept here. Control file. There is one more concept. Control file. So what control file will do? Okay, what do you mean by control file? That we will discuss. So let me go to the Fusion Apps OER. Go to the Fusion Apps OER. Go to the file-based data import for file-based data import for procurement. File-based data import for procurement. So if you see import suppliers, the import supplier, there is a, see this is the file where we are going to enter the data, same like a DAT file. Okay. And this is the control file. I will tell you what I mean by control file. So this is the SS job name. So this is the SS job name. Import supplier is the SS job name. And tables, this is the interface table name. And what is the purpose of this is the entering the data, right? Let's download this one. Download this one. And download the control file also. Download the control file also. Control file. So here you will put the program name, folder name, Fbdi. Okay. So guys, here rename. Okay. So now what we will do, we are going to edit with notepad plus plus. Sorry, not. So if you look at this one here, this is the columns. Sample data given by Oracle. Sample data given by Oracle. This is the sample data given by Oracle. And this is the instructions. Yes. So this is the instructions given by Oracle. So the first step is you have to see the control file. In the control file, I told you right. We have a program, right? What is the program name? Load interface file for import is the program name, right? So this is the program name. When we run this program, what will happen? I told you right, it will store into interface table, right? The data of the business object information will be stored into interface table. That is what I said, right? So now what will happen? So here it will have an insert script that contains all the column information and some basic validations are there here. So what this control file will do, it will take the data from, let me, it will take the data from, here, whatever it is there. It will take the data from here. It will take the data from sheet, whatever you entered, and it will insert the data to interface table. So your responsibility is run the program. What program you need to run? This program. So this control file, you no need to do any changes here. So control file will not accept to support any changes. Whatever the logic given by Oracle, so that logic accordingly it will execute. So in short, you can say when you run this program, someone will ask an interview. when you run this program, internally control file will take the data from this sheet and it will load the data into interface table. And these columns, interface table columns and sheet columns are same. Interface table column, for example, if I put the cursor, so in the top there is a one yellow pop-up coming, right? Did you observe? Hello.
Yes,
So when
sir.
I put the cursor, it is showing a yellow pop-up, right? So what is the column name there?
Vendor name.
Vendor name. So now you see here, you see in the CSV file, sorry, in the control file, vendor name will be there definitely. See, so that means interface table column names and this sheet column should be matched. 100% it should match. So once again, I will tell you guys what you have to understand is, so when we run this program, whatever the data we have in the sheet, it will pass to this control file. What control file will do? It will load the data to interface table. So you no need to pass. This program will be taken care of everything. This program will be taken care of everything. But so internally what is happening? So internally what is happening that you have to understand it. So that is the reason I'm explaining you. That is the reason I'm explaining. Okay. So once the data loaded into, once data load into interface table, once the data load into interface table. So what is the base table program name? Import supplier program will take the data from interface table and load into base tables. Import supplier program ESS job will take the data from interface table and load into base table. So here also you don't need to do anything, guys. Only you have to run the program. Only you have to run the program. So what this program will do? This program will pick up the data from interface table, which already stored in this table, and load into base tables. So import supplier program will pick up the data from interface table. The import supplier program will pick up the data from interface table and load into base tables. So what are the base table names? POZ underscore suppliers underscore. If you want to know interface table name or base table name, in the sheet they will mention here. So this is the base table names. Sorry, this is the base table names for the suppliers. This is the base table name for the supplier, and this is the interface table name. If you are loading the data to interface table, please use the control file. Understand or not? Okay. And guys, here one more thing. Same like as in HDL, we have entered the data in the front end, right? In HDL, we have entered the data in front end, right? Correct or not? In HDL, we have entered the data in front end or not? Hmm? Same way, here also we can enter the data in front end to identify the mandatory columns. Same way here also we can enter the data in to front end to identify the mandatory columns. Understand or not? Same way here also we can enter the data into front end to identify the mandatory columns. And in the sheet, how to identify? In the sheet also we have option to identify the mandatory columns. So in the sheet, if you look at this sheet, so here what is there? The star. What do you mean by star?
Mandatory.
Mandatory column. Here also a business relationship mandatory column. Huh? And business relationship mandatory column. Supplier name mandatory column. Import action mandatory column. So this is the way you can identify the mandatory column in the business object. Any question you can feel free to ask me. It's very, very important.
Vamshi, how you are saying it is a mandatory column here?
Star is there, na?
Okay.
Here supplier name last star is there, na?
Mm,
So that is called mandatory.
okay. And now the control file not required to do any changes. Just
No,
we
no,
have
no.
to provide the data here, mandatory data,
Exactly.
and we have to submit the two programs.
Exactly correct.
Okay.
So I will show you how to enter the data in the front end. So which instance is working, guys? Dev 93 working, huh? Dev 93 working. Can you share me the instance? Can anyone have a handy in the instance? Can you share in the chat window?
Dev 12 is working, Mushi.
Thank you. First go to the procurement suppliers. Navigation to create the supplier, procurement and suppliers.
Hello.
Yeah.
Which job role we need to add to get this?
I am not able to hear properly your voice.
Hello. Which job role we need to add?
Which job roles?
We need to add to get this option.
I think, okay, supplier, right? Okay. So which job role, right? I think supplier manager we need to add. Okay. Supplier option. He's asking good, correct question. To get the supplier option, we need to add supplier manager and buyer role. Other modules we need to add role, but supplier I'm telling supplier manager and buyer role. For suppliers, we need to add a supplier manager and buyer role. Okay. For invoices, we have to add different roles. So you go here, supplier, create supplier. Supplier name I will give okay, ABX Corp Limited. Business relationship prospective. Tax organization, tax country, United States. Dance number something create. Take this ABX Corp Limited create. So data stored into base tables. Verify that. Create create data model. Press CM. Select start from. Provide suppliers. Okay now. So the data has stored into base tables. So only when we only when we load the data using this sheet, only interface table process will be coming to the picture. If you enter the data in the front end, the interface table will not be coming to the picture. So when we load the data using front end, so the interface table concept will not come. When we load the data through Fbdi approach only, interface table approach will come. Remember this point. So directly the data will be stored into base tables. So tomorrow what we will do, we are going to first read these instructions one by one. So read these instructions one by one, and we will enter the sample data here and we'll follow the steps.